So let's jump right in. If we rewind to early 2026, something really big shifted in higher education. I mean, artificial intelligence had been kind of bubbling under the surface in labs and small projects, but then, boom, it just exploded onto the main stage.
And honestly, this phrase just nails it. AI went from being this little novelty, a cool tool for a few professors to play around with, to suddenly becoming a core pillar of how a university actually runs. We're talking everything from recruiting new students all the way to how classes are taught.
On the surface, it looked like this amazing, seamless tech revolution. But what if I told you that this super fast adoption created a huge, almost invisible problem? A problem hiding in plain sight that could actually undermine all that progress.
And that brings us to the heart of our story today, the great policy disconnect. I mean, it's a classic tale, right? Technology just sprints ahead, and the rules that are supposed to govern it are left in the dust. But when this happens in a university, the stakes are incredibly high.
So this is the million-dollar question. With AI now tangled up in pretty much every part of campus life, how prepared are these institutions really? Are the people actually using the tech on the same page as the leaders setting the strategy?
All right, let's start with a number that's, well, it's just staggering. 94%. That's how many staff members in higher ed, we're talking faculty, researchers, administrators, the whole shebang, are using AI tools in their work. It's not on the fringes anymore. It is everywhere.
But here's the disconnect. While almost everyone is using these tools, look at this other number. Only 54% even know their own institution has a policy for AI. That's a massive gap. It means nearly half the people using AI are just flying blind.
So what does a gap like that actually look like in the real world? This isn't just some abstract statistic, It has very real, very tangible consequences for everyone on campus. It basically creates a lottery system for fairness and integrity. For students, it can feel like chaos. Just imagine this. One of your professors says, hey, use AI. It's a great tool for brainstorming. But the professor in the classroom next door, they see it as cheating. That kind of confusion totally undermines trust and creates massive fairness issues, especially for international students who might be studying remotely and have different levels of access to these tools.
And the risk is just as big over in the research labs. When there are no clear rules, researchers are left making their own calls on huge questions, like should the AI be credited as an author? Or how much of this AI assistance do I need to disclose? It's a recipe for some serious integrity problems down the line.
And this isn't just about academics. The admin side is using AI too for really high-stakes decisions about who gets admitted or which students get support. But without solid governance, you have to ask, how do we know these systems aren't biased? And who's on the hook when an algorithm gets it wrong?
Now, if you think this gap is wide already, you might want to buckle up. There's a whole new wave of AI on the horizon that's set to automate things on a scale we've just never seen before. And it could turn this policy gap into a Grand Canyon.
It's called Agentic AI. The best way to think about it is, it's not just a tool you give commands to. It's more like an autonomous employee. You could give an AI agent a complex goal, like say, verify the credentials for all incoming international students, and it would figure out all the steps and just do it. The potential is massive, but so is the risk if the rules aren't crystal clear.
Okay, so how in the world do universities even start to fix this?
Well, funny enough, the answer might not be in some big, flashy tech announcement. It's in the quiet moments in between. Those periods where there's no major AI news hitting the headlines. That's not a time to relax. That's the golden opportunity to do the hard work.
This quote from the source material just says it all, doesn't it? It's a call to action. It's a chance for institutions to finally look in the mirror and get their house in order before the next big tech wave comes crashing down.
So what does that hard work actually look like? Well, it's pretty much a four-step playbook. First, you've got to review what's actually happening on campus right now. Then, you clarify the rules so everyone can understand them. Third, you build capacity. You train your people. And finally, and this is so important, you establish frameworks to figure out if these new tools are even working.
And why is that last step so critical? Because of this number, 13%. That's how many universities are actually measuring the return on their AI investments. Let that sink in for a second. Most are just throwing money and tools at the wall without any clear way to know if it's making things better. It's basically strategy by guesswork, and that has to stop.
So this all brings us back to one central, really personal challenge. It's not enough anymore to just use AI.
Everyone, from the university president down to a part-time instructor, needs to start asking this fundamental question about strategy.
So I'll leave you with this. Is your institution being proactive, setting the rules, and defining what success looks like? Or is the technology shaping you, pulling your institution in 100 different directions and creating chaos along the way? The answer to that question will literally define the future of higher education.